Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. And in today's video, I do want to talk about a little bit about the Great Hall, but I want to talk about the area bonuses. Now, this comes from live PvP. This is something that you unlock at, I think, it's level 50. I think I got this one right because I know Cursed City, I think it's 52. I always get confused about the 50, 52s around that level when you start unlocking this thing. So we're going to be talking about live PvP a little bit more and kind of the priorities, at least for me as a newer player. We're going to talk about live PvP in general, but the kind of bonuses that I've been putting in as a newer player, some of the ones that you can do, you know, if you so desire. We're going to take a look at a few of the different areas that might be relevant, that might be worth putting some points into. And we're going to be talking about all that and more. Now, before we get started with the video, I do want to remind you, of course, that if you haven't started playing Raid Shadow Legends yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right or in the link in the description down below to get yourself a free Legendary Elemental and 2 free epics, Tagore and Ugo at account level 15 and 30. And of course, there is a promo code that you should be using, and that's going to be Supreme Gallic by using the code Supreme6 to get yourself a legendary hymn. Supreme Gallic, one of the best legendary champions in the game that you can get at the start of your adventure. So let's just get started. We're going to do just like a quick recap of Great Hall, and I've done this in other videos, but I do want to kind of just point this out again. Great Hall is going to be very important when it comes to unlocking Arbiter. So this is basically the first thing that you should be working on when you're a new player, especially in the first 3, 4, 5 months, however long it takes you to get Arbiter. You know, some people do it faster, some people do it a little bit slower. You know, right? So it depends on how hardcore, I guess, you're playing Raid Shadow Legends and you're pushing those missions. And just as a reminder, if you don't know where those are, it's down here. Now, I've already cleared the Arbiter missions. I'm working on making my way through the Ramantu missions. I'm at 19. This is mission 20, actually, that I'm working my way through. So this is something that I'm doing right now. Marius, I am not doing so hot at because I haven't really started conquering the hard mode dungeons. So that's kind of something you need to do for Marius. But in the Great Hall missions for Arbiter, basically you need to get 2 of your affinities at level 4, which really should be accuracy, because accuracy is one of the most important stats in Raid Shadow Legends. It really is. Next to speed, which you can't boost with the Great Hall. So what you should do is take the 2 affinities that you have the most amount of characters for, especially the ones that you're using pretty much every single day, and get those 2 to level 4. So for me, it was magic or blue, depending on how you like to look at it, got to level 4, and then red, force, to level 4. And then at that point, you need to choose one of them and take them up to level 10. So I decided to go with magic as my first one to 10 because I had characters like Kale, like Alice the Wanderer. There was a few in my roster that I was using every single day as well, that are blue as well. And I think I got my very first mythical, Commodus Darksmile, was blue. Ugo is blue wherever he is in here, where she is in here. So I also had my Strategos Islan, who I pulled very early on in my roster as well. So a lot of my characters were magic / blue. And then secondarily, is that a word? I had Rector Drath, I had Geomancer, you know, I had some really, in my other really solid legendary Esther Dream Song that I pulled that was a Force Red. So I decided to go on my Great Hall as my second after I finished a 10. My second 1 to 10 right now is Force, and then I'm going to be working on getting Spirit to 10. And really, this will take you some time, I'll be honest. I'm almost 4 months in, and I am just about to cap a second stat, and it's going to take me at least like a month, maybe month and a half to get each one of these to 10. So I have a feeling that I'm going to be in, and then Void is going to be 4th, right? So I have a feeling that this is going to take me at least the first 6 months of my account just to make sure that the affinity bonuses here are at level 10. And then after that, I mean, I'm probably going to go with defense, right? Because not every character benefits from attack, but everyone does benefit from more survivability. So, you know, not every character is a DPS class, right? So I don't need to necessarily get crit damage and attack on every character, but I think that things like HP and defense is something that will benefit every single character. So at that point, we'll maybe have a new assessment about that. I think I'd probably go with defense, though, because again, more survivability for things like clan boss or just anything really is going to be more beneficial. So that's my plans for that, for the affinity bonuses. But I do want to talk also about the live arena, right? Because this is the funny thing where you're kind of doing PvP for PvE gains. And I guess it's the one weird thing about Raid Shadow Legends where you're kind of having to do this in order to get PvE bonuses, and not just, for the Arbiter mission for Classic Arena, but you're getting through the affinity bonuses. This is working pretty much in the entire game, right? So this is really important stuff. But secondly, live arena is, for some people, it's not always the most fun. I'm doing a lot better on it than I was before, but making the time for this as well is something, because sometimes a live arena match can take upwards to 5 minutes sometimes, and you get about 10 per day, or you can do 10 per day. So you get basically 5 attacks for free, completely free, and then after that you can do you get a free refill, and then you get 5 more. So essentially you get up to two chance 10 attacks per day to do this. And that could take a fair bit of time, right? Like if your arena's taking a bit of time, it could take about like up to an hour, I guess, to do your 10 attacks. And so it's not always easy to do. Now I'm on silver 3, so I climbed up a little bit, but the problem here is that it's not always active when I want to play. And this schedule is not super great for where I am, which I'm living in Germany right now. I was previously in the West Coast, North America, so Pacific Standard Time, but now I'm in Germany, which is a 9 hours difference for me. And the times at which they're open is not always when I want to play. And so this is a bit of a problem for me, maybe not for everyone else. And there is a schedule here, and this is listed in UTC, which I believe is it's 2 hours back for me actually right now. So it's kind of it's +2. I have to take this in +2, right? So 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. for me. That's not very good. And they're only in 3-hour increments, right? So this is 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now, sometimes I'm up early enough to do this that I actually like want to open up my Raid Shadow Legends to do this around this time. This time is not so great for me either, which is opening up at 3 p.m. I think, all the way to 6 p.m. It's just because like I'm usually doing some work, and that's not great. So realistically, the only time slot that I can really use is this one here, which is for me it's 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, so 9 p.m. to midnight for me. And that one's probably the only one that I can really get this in, that I actually have some time that I can sit down and do that. And so basically you're getting a 12-hour window. I guess there's 12 hours, but they're just staggered. And the way that it's staggered kind of bothers me a little bit. And that's the only downside, I think, to Live Arena. Now, depending on where you are in the world and your own schedule, maybe that makes a little bit more sense for you. But let's talk about area bonuses, right? Or actually, let's talk about wins, right? So where I am at Silver 3, I get 40 of these tokens basically per win. You're going to start down here. When you first open and unlock it, you're going to get 10. So this does make a little bit of difference. But I do want to kind of look at the area bonuses, and I want to show you guys what this means. So they have this kind of split down between grades: grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. And is there a 4? No, there's just 3. Okay, I thought there was a 4. And so you don't want to go like willy-nilly and just blow it in random places. I'm going to tell you some of the places that you should avoid. And that's going to be your potion keeps. And I would personally say, I don't think it's a big deal. I would probably avoid most of the standard dungeons. Ice Golem's Peak, Fire Knight's Castle, Dragon's Lair, Spider's Den. I don't think this is necessary. Ignore the 1 accuracy I put into Fire Knight's Castle. This is just, I think this is something I did really early on. But by and large, I don't think this is necessary. Now, Faction Wars is interesting. I don't think this is necessary either. Again, something I did really early on. I wasn't really paying much attention to. But why this might be a thing later, not now, and definitely not for new players, but there is Faction Wars hard mode that is going to be coming out in the near future. So this might actually have some value later, where it's a bit more challenging. Like it's a lot more challenging for that. But as it sits right now, unless there's a separate one that's going to release that's like specifically for Faction Wars hard mode, I'm hoping that in the future, if you do this, that it will also carry over to hard mode, because I'm pretty sure the dungeon ones do as well. But the fact that it's grade 1 makes it a little bit cheaper. I just don't think that this is something that you should be focusing on for now, and as a newer player. Keep in mind, the kind of stuff that I'm talking about is stuff that I would recommend for players who are maybe about less than 6 months in. I'm not even 4 months in, so this is definitely advice I would take for myself as well, had I started over. Now, some other stuff where I also put in, but I don't think I would have done it. I don't know. These are just things I randomly did before I thought about it more. Doom Tower. So I'm currently making progress in Doom Tower hard mode, and I could see where this could be valuable, especially in accuracy, because as I said, accuracy is basically the most important stat in the game next to speed. If you cannot land your debuffs, you're pretty much screwed. So this is a pretty big deal, whether it's your affinity bonuses in accuracy or, potentially area bonuses in accuracy, this is a big deal. I think Iron Twin Fortresses is a really difficult dungeon, but I'm not sure if it warrants the stats. Now, I did put in accuracy because I felt that the accuracy threshold for some of the higher stages are quite difficult to get to. But I don't think should be the primary focus, because I want to talk about in more details, or in more specifics, about Clan Boss. Clan Boss is the number one most important thing in Raid Shadow Legends, specifically Demon Lord. But, and there's going to be an asterisk star caveat here that I want to talk about, because Demon Lord, depending on your roster, isn't that difficult to be able to climb. It does take some work. It takes some gear and it takes some work. But as far as, do I need these area bonuses to do better in Demon Lord, I would say not necessarily. I don't have a lot in here. I have like 2 points in defense, 1 point in speed, and 1 point in accuracy. Has this made a big difference to me? I don't think it really does. What this could do potentially, there's like certain niche builds for Demon Lord that require speed tuning, and this could screw it up actually if you have this. I want to talk about my Demon Lord team, because I think I have a pretty basic Demon Lord team. If I must be honest, like, it's not super anything. It's not crazy by any means. So my Nightmare, I did 59 million damage here, and I have Geomancer, who's an epic, Rector Drath, who's an epic, and I have Alice the Wanderer, who, again, if you started like the last 2 months, basically, she did end around April. And then I have Fane. I have 3 epics and 2 legendaries only, and I'm able to 1 key Nightmare, and I actually get around like 30 million damage on Ultra Nightmare, so it does take me 3 keys to do Ultra Nightmare to get that. But the reason why I'm pointing this out is that, like, I don't think that my team is anything special, and I didn't really need the area bonuses to get further in Demon Lord. So when it comes to whether or not you should get that in the area bonuses for Demon Lord, I think this might depend on you. I personally don't think so, that you need to do this, but if you're struggling and you think that, say, having a little bit more accuracy, or if you think having a little bit more defense might help you, again, I prefer defense over stats like attack, ignore defense, critical damage, because these are all DPS based stats. Defense is something that everybody can benefit from, because when you take AoE damage, you're going to definitely take less of that, right? And every single character can benefit from that. When it comes to the attack based stats, not everyone is scaling through attack. Some damage classes scale through other stats like HP and defense, so attack might not necessarily make a big difference. So that's something that I want to point out there. And resistance is not going to make a big, unless you're stacking resistance, which I don't think most people do in PvE. I think that's more of a PvP thing. That it's not going to make a significant amount of difference there. So if you are going to do anything, I would do accuracy and defense. That's just my thoughts. Now, the other one, which I do think is something that is harder to break into, but also very, very important, is Hydra. Now, I have been putting a lot of my bonuses into Hydra because I do think that it is a lot more difficult. And I think it actually warrants the upgrades, both in accuracy first, some defense as well. I got a little bit of speed as well, because that's more turns, right? So I kind of did a little bit of everything here. I'll be honest. I don't know why I did the resistance necessarily, because, again, I don't think I'm actually resisting anything. I should have put that into something else. But I think that that's where I'm doing the most amount of my bonuses for area, is in Hydra, because I want to improve the stats, the damage that I'm able to do. This is the most challenging content, at least that's in regards to area bonuses for me when I'm trying to break into. So currently, right now, I think I haven't done my attacks for this week yet. Oh no, I did. I did. Sorry, no, I did. I did my normal attacks, and I did one team with 7 million damage roughly, and then one team with 26 million on normal. But I haven't been able to break into hard mode yet, and I'm wondering if I get these area bonuses upgraded a little bit more, that maybe I will actually be able to break into hard mode Hydra. It is quite challenging. I mean, let me know in the comments down below. I feel it's some of the most challenging content in Raid Shadow Legends for me to break into. As far as some of this other stuff goes, I don't think it's personally necessary, and it costs a lot. Like Sand Devil's Necropolis, Phantom Shogun's Grove I think this more comes down to your build, your team build, more than anything. And I don't think that area bonuses stats is going to make a significant difference on this regard, that you actually need this to progress easier. Cursed City, also kind of like Doom Tower and Faction Crypts, that this is something that is a wide roster game mode, right? And so this is going to depend more on the characters that you have available to you than the additional stats that this is going to bring. So I don't think that this is all that important, but that's just me there. And so if I had to say anything, is I would try to do, you know, your stats into Hydra. If you want to break into this, if you're having a little bit of difficulty, these stats might help you out. If you're at a point where you really think that, you know, having a little bit of extra accuracy and defense and whatever is going to push you on Demon Lord a little bit further, then I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It's just that I'm avoiding that personally because it's a grade 3 stat. So it's essentially the same as Hydra, but I think that Hydra is a lot more harder to break into. Therefore, I think it might actually need the stats a little bit more. So I hope that some of my explanations here helped you guys, especially if you haven't really tackled this much when it comes to your bonuses, whether it's your Great Hall or whether it's your area bonuses. I hope that some of this stuff helped. And so that's going to be the end of the video. But before we go, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid Shadow Legends yet, what are you waiting for? It's a great game, having tons of fun. Download using the QR code in the top right or in the link in the description down below to get yourself a free Legendary Elemental and 2 free epics, Tagore and Ugo. I don't know why I stuttered there, at account level 15 and 30. And of course, Supreme Gallic by plugging in the promo code Supreme6 within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. So don't miss out on that. And that's going to be the end of the video here, everyone. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.